Doral Smith.
Thank you. A few bookkeeping notes before we start. I said earlier we're at 3.9, and two people just came up to me and said, why don't you make it 4 million? So let's hear it. We're at $4 million. Do I hear 4-1? Can I get 4-1? 4-2, 4-2. I got 4-2, I got 4-3. Okay. Somehow, Senator Chuck Schumer's got out of sequence and was not announced. He doesn't really care, but he's a friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Chuck Schumer's in the house. That could be the biggest mistake I made all year. I hope all of you are happy with where you're sitting. It was so great to hear from each and every one of you over the past few weeks. It was so gratifying to know that I have so many best friends. We are very fortunate again to have our day as blessed by the presence of such great friends and supporters. I'd love to name all of them, but we don't have the time. I mentioned Senator Chuck Schumer, Senator Hillary Clinton, Governor David Paterson, and Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Could be a message there, Mike. Also, Governor U.L. Carey is sitting right up here. He's never missed an Al Smith dinner. Governor, please stand up. This is his 63rd dinner. Never missed one. I want to say how especially pleased I am that we're joined tonight by the wife and son of the late Jim Russer, Maureen Orth and Luke Russer. Maureen and Luke, please stand up. Jim set the standard for integrity and journalism, and his loss is deeply felt. And he was, quite simply, a great guy. We'll all miss his warmth and good humor. I have visions of Jim up in heaven, interviewing God. Jim is looking across the table and saying, I'd like to put up on the screen something you said in 729 BC. There was breaking news during dinner that I should report. A band of illegals seeking a better life in a new country tried to sneak across the border. But Mexican officials caught them and sent them all back to Wall Street. You know, we gave some thought to spicing things up a little bit this year by having someone other than me introducing the speakers. We thought it might be fun to have Senator McCain introduced by Keith Olbermann, and Senator Obama introduced by Ann Coulter. But saner heads prevailed, and I guess I'll do it. I'm going to keep this fairly short, because we're all anxious to hear from our guests of honor. Our first speaker is Republican presidential nominee, Senator John McCain. There is no truth to the rumor that the speaking order was based on age before beauty. John McCain, as we all know, is a man who was held by hostile forces and brutalized over a long period of time. But I'm sure the senator doesn't want me to dwell on his appearance on The View. The son and grandson of Navy admirals, John McCain is a true American hero. I can be serious. His military exploits and sacrifice are well known. Desirous of continuing to serve his country after leaving the Navy, he settled in Arizona. He ran and won a seat in the House of Representatives in '82. 4 years later, he was elected to the U.S. Senate. During his time in Congress, he has earned his reputation as a maverick, opposing on his own party on those occasions when he thought they were wrong. Senator McCain can always be counted on for candor and straight talk. As we learned, not only observing his time in the House and Senate, but also during his quest for his party's presidential nomination in 2000. Time does not permit me to cover his congressional accomplishments, but suffice it to say, he's been involved in every major issue affecting this country during his years in Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Senator John McCain.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency and Mayor Bloomberg and Governor Patterson, Senator Schumer and Clinton, Senator Obama, Al and Nan Smith. Thank you all for the warm welcome. It's a privilege to be with all of you for the 63rd anniversary dinner of the Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation. And this is a very distinguished and influential audience, and as good a place as any to make a major announcement. Events are moving fast in my campaign, and yes, it's true that this morning I've dismissed my entire team of senior advisors. All of their positions will now be held by a man named Joe the Plumber. Already, my friends, my opponents have been subjecting Joe to their vicious attack machine. His veracity has been questioned by Barack Obama's running mate, Joe the six-term senator. He claims that this honest, hard-working small businessman could not possibly have enough income to face a tax increase under the Obama plan. What they don't know is that Joe the Plumber recently signed a very lucrative contract with a wealthy couple to handle all the work on all 7 of their houses. This campaign needed the common touch of a working man. After all, it began so long ago with the heralded arrival of a man known to Oprah Winfrey as the One. Being a friend and colleague of Barack, I just called him that one. My friends, he doesn't mind at all. In fact, he even has a pet name for me, George Bush. It's been that kind of contest, and I come here tonight to the Al Smith dinner knowing that I'm the underdog in these final weeks, but if you know where to look, there are signs of hope. There are signs of hope, even in the most unexpected places, even in this room full of proud Manhattan Democrats. I can't shake that feeling that some people here are pulling for me. I'm delighted to see you here tonight, Hillary. Where's Bill, by the way? Can't he take one night off from his tireless quest to make the man who defeated his wife the next president? The man is a relentless advocate for the Obama campaign, and he has a subtle approach to making the case. When a reporter asked him if Senator Obama was qualified to be president, Bill Clinton pointed out, sure, he's over 35 years of age and a U.S. citizen. He was pandering to the strict constructionist crowd. He's also been hammering away at me with epithets like American hero and great man. And with all the cameras running, he warmly embraced me at that global initiative of his. My friends, this is nothing but a brazen attempt to suppress turnout among anti-Clinton conservatives. Finally, when Larry King asked President Clinton a couple of weeks ago what was the delay and why he wasn't out there on the trail for Barack, Bill said his hands were tied until the end of the Jewish high holidays. Now, you got to admire that ecumenical spirit. I just know Bill would like to be out there now, stumping for Barack until the last hour of the last day. Unfortunately, he is constrained by his respect for any voters who might be observing the Zoroastrian New Year. You know? Some advocates for Senator Obama are less restrained in their enthusiasm, even in the media. He usually is at table 228, for example. It was my old friend and green room pal, Chris Matthews. He used to like me, but he found somebody new. Somebody who opened his eyes, somebody who gave him a thrill up his leg. And we've talked about it. I told him, Maverick I can do, but Messiah is above my pay grade. You know, it's going to be a long, long night at MSNBC if I manage to pull this thing off. For starters, I understand that Keith Olbermann has ordered up his very own Mission Accomplished banner. And they can hang that in whatever padded room has been reserved for him. Seriously, Chris, if they need any decorating advice on that banner, ask Keith to call me so I can tell him right where to put it. So, you know, I have fun with the media, and we all know the press is really an independent, civic-minded, and nonpartisan group, like Acorn. In case you haven't been following my opponent's Get Out the Vote campaign, Acorn is helping to register groups previously excluded, overlooked, and underserved. Second graders, the deceased, Disney characters. In Florida, they even turned up an Acorn voter registration form that bore the name of one Mickey Mouse. We're checking the paw prints. Although I might let that one go, I'm pretty sure the big rat's a Republican. Anyway, we all know that Senator Obama is ready for any contingency, even the possibility of a sudden and dramatic market rebound. I'm told that at the first sign of recovery, he will suspend his campaign and fly immediately to Washington to address this crisis. All this will be for the voters to decide very soon. And though I do trust we can keep the turnout amongst deceased and fictional voters to a minimum, I've come out on both sides of elections, and I've never lost my confidence in the judgment of the American people. In the military, they work pretty hard to impress the chain of command on your way of thinking. And one way or another, on the 4th of November, word will come down from the top of the chain, and Senator Obama and I will both receive our orders. I don't want it getting out of this room, but my opponent is an impressive fellow in many ways. Political opponents can have a little trouble seeing the best in each other. But I've had a few glimpses of this man at his best, and I admire his great skill, energy, and determination. It's not for nothing that he's inspired so many folks in his own party and beyond. Senator Obama talks about making history, and he's made quite a bit of it already. There was a time when the mere invitation of an African-American citizen to dine at the White House was taken as an outrage and an insult in many quarters. Today is a world away from the cruel and prideful bigotry of that time, and good riddance. I can't wish my opponent luck, but I do wish him well. Whatever the outcome next month, Senator Obama has achieved a great thing for himself and for his country, and I congratulate him. In his own day, Governor Al Smith achieved great things as well and traveled a harder path than most any presidential candidate before or since. America will always remember the boy born in an old tenement on South Street in Brooklyn, who was 4 times elected governor of this state, and the newsboy and fishmonger who went to St. James Parochial School, and at his death received an apostolic benediction from the Pope himself. At the Al Smith Foundation and at the New York Archdiocese, you're carrying on the spirit and work of this good man with your service to the poor, your comfort for the sick and needy, your belief in the dignity of life, especially your gallant defense of the rights of the unborn. I'm proud to count myself as your friend and ally. With that, my friends, let me make way for my opponent, who tonight is making a comedy debut that I guess we could call the final test of this campaign. Now, a copy of the senator's comedy routine was left on the table this evening, and I have to confess, Your Eminence, I looked at it. Now, of course, it would be unfair and even a little unkind to put my opponent on the spot before he gets up here, or to throw him off his game with unreasonably high expectations. But I do need to warn you, ladies and gentlemen, you all are all out about to witness the funniest performance in the 63-year history of this event. Let's not add to the mounting pressure he must be feeling. Just prepare yourself for nonstop hilarity. The funniest 15 minutes of your life or any other. I think he knows that anything short of that would mar the evening, insult our hosts, and perhaps even cost him several swing states. Senator Obama, the microphone is all yours.
I think they liked you. So who needs Tina Fey? Our next speaker, Senator Barack Obama, has garnered an adoring support from people all over the country, and even from some who are not in the media. He first came to national prominence in 2004 as a candidate for U.S. Senate seat in Illinois. He delivered an elegant keynote address at the Democratic Convention. His oratory and charisma impressed Americans of all political stripes. Most of us are aware of Senator Obama's compelling life story. Born in Hawaii to a mother from Kansas and a father from Kenya, he was raised by his maternal grandparents after living for a time with his mother in Indonesia. He's a graduate of Occidental College, Columbia University, and Harvard Law School. He was the first African-American president of the Harvard Law Review. He settled in Chicago in 1993. You know Chicago, the city where 4 out of every 2 people votes Democratic. I married somebody from Chicago, so we have 3 votes in the family. After lecturing at the University of Chicago Law School, he won an Illinois State Senate seat in 1996. In February 2007, Senator Obama announced in Springfield, Illinois, that he was running for president. His entry into the contest was the beginning of a campaign that injected excitement into the presidential race. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Senator Barack Obama.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you to Al and to Ann, to Your Eminence, to Governor Patterson and Mayor Bloomberg, to Senator and Mrs. McCain, to my wonderful colleagues, Senator Clinton and Schumer, to all the distinguished guests. There is no other crowd in America that I'd rather be palling around with right now. I'm sorry he couldn't be here. I do send regards to my running mate, Joe Biden, or as Senator McCain noted, he now actually likes to be called Joe the Senator. I was thrilled to get this invitation, and I feel right at home here because it's often been said that I share the politics of Alfred E. Smith and the ears of Alfred E. Newman. But I have to say tonight's venue isn't really what I'm used to. I was originally told we'd be able to move this outdoors to Yankee Stadium. Can somebody tell me what happened to the Greek columns that I requested? I do love the Waldorf Astoria, though. I hear that from the doorstep, you can see all the way to the Russian tea room. It is an honor to be here with Al Smith. I obviously never knew your great-grandfather, but from everything that Senator McCain has told me, the two of them had a great time together before Prohibition. So, wonderful stories. The mayor of this great city, Michael Bloomberg, is here. The mayor recently announced some news, made some news by announcing he's going to be rewriting the rules and running for a third term, which caused Bill Clinton to say, "You can do that?" The president's better half, Senator Hillary Rodham Clinton, is also here. I'm glad to see you made it, Hillary. I'm glad to see that you made it, because I heard Chuck Schumer actually try to tell you that we really did move this event to Yankee Stadium. But I'll tell you all from personal experience, Hillary Clinton is one of the toughest and most formidable presidential candidates in history. She's broken barriers. She's inspired millions. She is the primary reason I have all this gray in my hair now. I am also glad to see that Senator Schumer is here, and I see that he's brought some of his loved ones. Those would be the folks with the cameras and the notebooks in the back of the room. Of course, I am especially honored to be here tonight with my distinguished opponent, Senator John McCain. I think it is a tribute to American democracy that with 2 weeks left in a hard-fought election, the two of us could come together and sit down at the same dinner table without preconditions. Recently, one of John's top advisors told the Daily News that if we keep talking about the economy, McCain's going to lose. So tonight I'd like to talk about the economy. Given all that's happened these past few weeks on Wall Street, it feels like an odd time to be dressed up in white tie, but I must say I got a great deal. Rented the whole outfit from the Treasury Department at a very good price. Looking around tonight at all the gourmet food and champagne, it's clear that no expenses were spared. It's like an executive sale meeting at AIG. But I don't need to tell any of you that it's been a scary time on the stock market, with people losing their investments, their entire fortunes. It's gotten so bad, Bloomberg now has to take the subway. And while the collapse of the housing market's been tough on every single homeowner, I think we all need to recognize that this crisis has been 8 times harder on John McCain. Yeah, we've been debating a lot of these economic issues over the course of the campaign, but lately things have been getting a bit tougher. In the last few weeks, John's been out on the campaign trail and asked the question, who is Barack Obama? Now, I have to admit, I was a little surprised by this question. The answer is right there on my Facebook page. But look, I don't want to be coy about this. We're a couple of weeks from an important election. Americans have a big choice to make, and if anybody feels like they don't know me by now, let me try to give you some answers. Who is Barack Obama? Contrary to the rumors that you've heard, I was not born in a manger. I was actually born on Krypton and sent here by my father, Jor-El, to save the planet Earth. Many of you know that I got my name, Barack, from my father. What you may not know is Barack is actually Swahili for that one. And I got my middle name from somebody who obviously didn't think I'd ever run for president. If I had to name my greatest strength, I guess it would be my humility. Greatest weakness, it's possible that I'm a little too awesome. One other thing, I have never, not once, put lipstick on a pig, or a pit bull, or myself. Rudy Giuliani, that's one for you. I mean, who would have thought that a cross-dressing mayor from New York City would have a tough time winning the Republican nomination? It's shocking. That was a tough primary you had there, John. Anyway, that's who I really am. But in the spirit of full disclosure, there are a few October surprises you'll be finding out about in the coming weeks. First of all, my middle name, it's not what you think. It's actually Steve. That's right, Barack Steve Obama. Here's another revelation. John McCain is onto something. There was a point in my life when I started palling around with a pretty ugly crowd. I've got to be honest. These guys were serious deadbeats. They were lowlifes. They were unrepentant, no good punks. That's right. I've been a member of the United States Senate. Come to think of it, John, I swear I saw you at one of our meetings. But I know Senator McCain agrees that some of the rumors out there are getting a bit crazy. Rupert, the other day, Fox News actually accused me of fathering 2 African-American children in wedlock. By the way, John, I'm just curious, is Fox News included in the media? Because I'm always hearing about this love. Just curious. Then at one of these campaign rallies, someone in the crowd started yelling, "Nobama," announcing to everyone in the room that I shouldn't be the Democratic nominee because there were far more qualified candidates. I really wish Joe Biden hadn't done that. But at least we've moved past the days when the main criticism coming from the McCain campaign was that I'm some kind of celebrity. I have to admit that that really hurt. I got so angry about it, I punched a paparazzi in the face on my way out of Spago's. I'm serious. I even spilled my soy chai latte all over my Shih Tzu. It was really embarrassing. But in all seriousness, I'm so glad that I could make it tonight, and I'm honored to be among such wonderful public servants. I want to especially say a word of thanks to Senator McCain. We are in the midst of a tough battle right now, and American politics at the presidential level is always tough. But I've said before, and I think it bears repeating, that there are very few of us who have served this country with the same dedication and honor and distinction as Senator McCain, and I'm glad to be sharing the stage with him tonight as I am during the course of this nomination. And before I close, I'd like to recognize one such servant who's not with us here tonight, but who was mentioned earlier, and that's our good friend, Tim Russert. I know that Luke and Maureen are here, and I know that Tim enjoyed these dinners very much, and I also know how much he would have enjoyed covering this election. And I know that John and I would have been quaking in our boots preparing for our appearances on Meet the Press. And his absence is not just a personal loss for so many who knew him and loved him, but a profound loss for the country. And we continue to miss him very much. You know, the fact that each October in in the closing weeks of a hard-fought campaign. People of all political persuasions can come to this dinner and share a meal and honor the work of this foundation. Underscores the reality that no matter what differences or divisions or arguments we're having right now, we ultimately belong to something bigger and more lasting than a political party. We belong to a community. We share a country. We are all children of God. And in this country, there are millions of fellow citizens, our brothers and sisters, who need us very much, especially now. We are being battered by a very serious economic storm, and for many Americans, it's only deepened the quiet storms they've been struggling through for years. Beyond the walls of this hotel, on the streets of one of the greatest cities in the wealthiest nation on earth, there are men and women and children who've fallen on hard times and hard luck, who can't find work or even a job that pays enough to keep a roof over their heads. And some are hanging on just by a thread. Scripture says God creates us for works of service. We are blessed to have so many organizations like this one and the Catholic diocese that perform these acts of God every day. But each of us also have that responsibility. Each of us has that obligation, especially now. So no matter who we are or what we do, what I believe is each of us in this room asks for and hopes for and prays for enough strength and wisdom to do good and to seek justice and play our small part in building a more hopeful and compassionate world for the generations that will follow. Before Al Smith was a candidate who made history, he was a man who made a difference, a man who fought for many years to give Americans nothing more than a fair shake and a chance to succeed. And he touched the lives of hundreds of thousands, of millions as a result. Simply put, he helped people. And that's a distinction we can all aspire to, and we can all achieve, young or old, rich or poor, Democrat or Republican or independent. And I have no doubt that if we come together at this moment of crisis with this goal in mind, America will meet this challenge and weather this storm, and in the words of Al Smith, walk once more in eternal sunshine. Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, does it get any better than this? Thank you, Senator Obama. I want to say how grateful we are to both Senators McCain and Obama for taking time away from the campaign to be with us tonight. While you may disagree on certain issues, you are united in wanting to do the best for our country. I thank you for being here tonight. And whatever the outcome next month, I hope one of you will be back in 4 years. Please. Now it's my great pleasure to once again present His Eminence Cardinal Egan.
My dear friends, first of all, I want to thank you most sincerely for honoring us with your presence at this 63rd annual Alfred E. Smith Foundation dinner. Your generosity will make it possible for numerous institutions of charity and health care to serve literally thousands of our fellow citizens with professional excellence and genuine compassion. We are very much in your debt. It is, of course, a very special pleasure to have here with us this evening a United States Senator who is widely known and admired in Chicago and throughout the state of Illinois, and another who speaks out every week on every issue facing our nation. But enough about Senator Clinton and Senator Schumer. We are here this evening to listen to, as you know, Senator John McCain and Senator Barack Obama, both of whom have truly delighted us with their humor and their insights. Senators, with your kind permission, I would like to offer both of you some advice in the political realm. 8 years from now, one of you will have had a great success as the President of the United States, and you may want to continue in that office. If such be the case, please give me a call. I have a friend here in New York who is an expert at arranging this kind of thing. Senator McCain, this dinner tonight has been an extraordinary financial success. Despite the economic downturn, business leaders from across the nation have been marvelously generous. One of them, in fact, dropped off a huge check at my office this morning because of the publicity you gave him during the debate last night, and because he appreciates your commitment to reducing taxes for all of us next year. He is seated, I believe, at table 16. Joe the plumber, would you please stand up and take a bow? Senator Obama, after working to organize a community in the troubled south side of Chicago, you are looking to move up to Washington, D.C., which is, of course, the capital of our nation. It may be an encouragement for you to know that after working to organize a community in the troubled south side of Chicago, St. Leo's Catholic Church at 78th and Emerald, I was able to move up even higher to no less than New York City, the capital of the world. And Senator, I'm still here after 8 years. Senators McCain and Obama, on behalf of the Committee for the Alfred E. Smith Memorial Foundation Dinner, I wish to express to each of you our heartfelt gratitude for your arranging to speak with us this evening. It has been a real delight to have you here. May the good Lord continue to bless you and your family, the families of both of these outstanding, exemplary Americans, through all the years that lie ahead. You have honored us by allowing us to invite you. Thank you for the honor and the very best of good fortune. May God guide you at every step along the way.
Please remain standing for the benediction delivered by another grandson, great-grandson of Al Smith, the Reverend Timothy Cadigan. Tim? A very slow grandson, great-grandson.
Your Eminence, and I meant the Cardinal, not you, cousin.
I'll tell the jokes, do the prayer.
My friends, let's take a moment and bow our heads, call upon the giver of all good gifts, the giver of life itself. Lord, we thank you for the gifts of family and friends. We thank you for the outstanding men and women gathered here this evening. Their presence honors the memory of Alfred E. Smith. It is with humility we petition you. Bless all who serve this great city, this diocese, and the Empire State. Bless our country's leaders. Give them wisdom, patience, compassion, and strength. Bless our men and women in uniform in places far away, Bring them home to us soon and safe. Continue to bless this evening, our conversation, our laughter, our cheer. May the good works to which each one of us has been called, through your inspiration and grace, grow and multiply throughout this year. And may Almighty God bless you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Thank you, President. Good job.
Thank you, Jim. I think it's safe to say this has been an evening to remember, and I'm glad we were all able to be here and participate. Please remain in your seats till His Eminence and the senators have left the room. Again, thank you very much.